Hello, boss lady Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Boss lady Emily?
Boss lady Emily. You never know how we're gonna start it out.
I really never know what you're gonna say, how you're
Me
gonna
either.
talk to me, gonna talk to the listener. I don't know. So I love it though. Keeps you on my toes.
Keeps you on your toes. I just want to make sure you're listening
Engaged. Yeah.
and that everybody else out there is listening as well. But I don't know. Just depends on if I so like. Do you think they like being called bosses? Boss? Like they are sort of bossy. That's the whole point. But
I don't know.
I don't either. I never really identify with the word boss, but I love the sort of bossy title and I love the vibes.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. Yeah. But like I don't refer to myself as like a boss.
No. Me neither. But I don't think like it sounds so like 80s movie. Like my dad's a boss down at the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like so I don't know.
But I feel like the girlies try to revive like boss babe, you know?
Oh, see, okay, I'm gonna get hate for this. I'm not, but I might. Actually, I might. I hate that kind of stuff. Like boss babe, like
I know.
Girl boss.
Yeah.
Riggs, like it just brings back like a lot, not brings back, but brings up a lot of like MLM vibes. Anything that could have potentially been used to sell like pattern leggings in the 2010s. Like I just don't need any of that terminology. Like I also like really dislike when people use the word tribe, especially and exclusively when they're Caucasian, because I'm just like,
your tribe.
To use that word. Like that's not a word that applies to us. So
I know.
But it was like so rampant back in the 2010s.
Yes. It was like what everyone was calling their community,
their
right?
Community was like tribe, you know?
Yeah. But I die a little inside when I still see people using it. And I'm like, wait, you didn't get the memo? Like we're not using that.
We don't use that.
I thought it was very obvious, but maybe it's also an act of rebellion.
And there's definitely like certain people who like you're the person who's supposed to be using the word tribe.
Well, that's different. Yeah, I'm talking about the Caucasians.
Oh yeah, the Caucasians. I don't think there's ever. I mean, is it an act of rebellion or is it just an act of ignorance? I don't know. Or
is it a, what do they call it? Dog whistle of trying to attract people who would be okay with them and are mad that they weren't allowed to use it anymore.
Right.
I don't know.
My hair is like a little bit thingy. I think I'm going to cut my hair. Sorry, I'm just staring at my hair length. And I was like, I'm going to cut my hair.
Very random, but it's like, I mean, if you're just listening to the audio version, you don't know that we also have a video version of this podcast. You can go watch it on YouTube. The video version is also on Spotify, but we just sit and look at each other. And so she's looking at herself right now and thinking she needs a haircut.
Yeah, my daughter just chopped all her hair off on the weekend, and I was like, dang, it looks really good. But
she got like a lob?
She got like a bob. And she's so cool, though, that she can pull it off. And I was like, I don't think I'm as cool as her. So, but now I'm like, Anyway,
actually, I think you could with like, I think you'd look good like with your hair done like that, but even like chopped right here. I think it would look really cute.
I know, right? Like, but I don't know. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Don't use the word tribe. Or even girl boss, boss babe, like, no, not for me.
The pattern leggings seem to hit a real nerve for you.
I mean, I still wear exclusively leggings, but just black ones from Aerie, not the pattern ones anymore.
Right. I did see that. Did you see that full documentary about that?
Yeah, yes. I loved that one. I loved that one. There's a new... Did you watch The Prophet, the new like FLDS documentary?
No.
Oh, you should watch it. It's so good.
So like it's about the show The Prophet?
No, it's about like a subsect of the FLDS community who like it was called like false prophet, who fell for like a false prophet.
FLDS, is this like Latter-day Saints?
Like like the like Warren Jeffs.
Okay.
Like you watched Keep Sweet and Obey, right? I feel like we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the same community, but like a subsect of them who fell for like a man who was saying he was the prophet.
Oh no.
Anyway, it's super, super interesting. So I just finished it last week. You should watch it.
All right. It's on Netflix?
Netflix, yeah.
I feel like that's where all the docuseries about these types of things are, about cults and things like that.
Or Prime, yeah.
Yeah.
I love
No,
the
I
kind of
saw
documentary.
just like we're a sports podcast, we're also a live news podcast, and this is going to be 2 weeks late, but I did see the Michael movie on opening weekend, to
Right.
which I told you last night I was voice noting you a million times because I went down the Michael Jackson rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I don't know if you're like that, but like whenever I like even learn a tidbit about someone's personal life, like a famous person, and I am intrigued by it, I'm going down. Like, I need to know everything about this person now. I need to know it all. And I'll just go and go and go and listen to more podcasts or read more, like a book or articles, or show me all the documentaries that were created before this. Who in the family is in agreement on this? Like, I need to know everything.
Right.
Bring me into the family so that I can know what's going on, you know?
I'm not that extreme.
I become semi-obsessed with what's going on.
Yeah. But then I get the benefits of that because you just tell me like the highlights, you know?
I think now that I say that, I think I would be easily swayed into a cult, you know?
Oh, me too. I don't.
I'm like, wait a second.
Of the right thing?
With the right person at the right... If it's the right person at the right time and I'm interested, I'm like, wow, you are amazing.
Yeah. I have like, especially in the 2010s, there was like some moments there where if the people I had been following started a cult, I probably would have been a part of it.
Would you have sold the patterned leggings if they asked you to? I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have, because I personally like am the worst salesperson in the entire world. Like, I don't like to ask anyone for anything, even though I have like a really good close record for us. But like, those are warm leads. But like, I'm not reaching out to my old high school people to say anything. You know what I mean? Like, So no, I don't think I would have fallen into that type of cult. I would not have been the fundraiser for the cult. That's for sure.
Are MLMs dead now? Because I haven't gotten any messages from like high school friends in a while about their new business. I feel like it's more maybe like skincare.
I think there's some still going strong, like the hair one, Monet, whatever.
Oh, I thought they determined that like makes your hair fall out or something. No.
Yeah, but I think it's still for sale.
Okay.
And I mean, there's still the old tried and trues like Arbonne, Pampered Chef.
Beachbody? Are people still doing Beachbody?
I have a feeling something happened with Beachbody, but I don't really follow it too closely. But like, yeah, like there's some tried and trues that are not going anywhere. But they're also like, yes, they're MLMs, but they're not like real. They're like real, you know,
products that have longevity.
Yeah, like Pampered Chef's a great brand. You can get great products from them.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that. It's just obviously their model is an MLM. That's how they sell. Okay, that's fine. I have a problem, but I have a problem with any business that has a subpar product that they try to push. And the problem with the MLM is that you're having people who need to make money push the product.
Exactly.
And it's a subpar product that
they've had to invest, blah, blah, blah. You know,
they don't even believe in it, and they're investing money, and they need this. They're desperate for you to buy it because they've put themselves into some
financial hardship. But like, could we not just say that influencer marketing is just modern day MLM?
It's a good question because, well, different in that they don't typically, from what I understand, financially invest in the company. The company doesn't make them financially invest in it. True. So there's no desperation there for them to sell it. I just think influencer marketing is just the new marketing now. Like they just know that that's where our eyes and ears and our attention is. And so they pay those people to push products, just like they used to have a commercial that used to work really well. Or they used to pay like a celebrity to be in a commercial. Now they don't even do that.
Yeah, you're right. It's more of like an endorsement. And you can be really good at it if you're the type of influencer who like continues to keep trust of your audience. But then there's some who have like, I'm not buying anything that you sell because
you lied to me.
You lied, you know? So yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's more of an endorsement model than a MLM model,
and like, if the influencers are smart, they're playing the long game and only promoting products that they actually believe in. That doesn't mean that you're going to love every single product that they love, but just being honest with the like you might love a product that works for your skin that doesn't work for my skin. It doesn't mean it's a bad product necessarily, but I think they need to, they need to play the long game of, let me not just push every single thing because I can make money off it. Let me make sure I actually believe in this thing. And
or use it and wear it. I think that's a big one.
Yeah. I feel like I don't like follow as many influencers as I used to.
I follow Bravo influencers, but honestly, most of the influencers are American. I'm based in Canada, so like their links don't even work for me anyway,
What a gift for you. Because then like you're like, oh, I want this thing. And you go to it and you're like, nah, can't buy it anyways.
I follow a lot of like Bookstagram accounts, like to get book recs, and they always link to like US Amazon. I'm like, I'm not, and then Amazon, do you want to change your country? No, I don't. I'm just not going to find out what the book that was. Because also they're not going to make money from me anyway. I'm like, just tell me what the book is.
Right,
like,
just tell me.
Just tell me what the book is and have an LTK,
Yesterday, I got influenced by this pair of jeans. They were really cute on this girl, but that's the other trick is like they look really cute on that girl, but are they going to look cute on me? Probably not. But then I clicked on it and they were like $300 and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying those. So.
Right? Yeah.
But they were cute. Get it, girl. Just wasn't expecting that, I was expecting more in the $100 range.
Yeah. Just don't buy jeans. That's my philosophy in life. They're just going to rip on you.
I don't need to buy any jeans.
You literally live in Florida. You don't need jeans.
I know. And it's about to be hot season. And I already have jeans. And I'm not even going to wear those for the next 6 months. So
you have so many jeans.
So I definitely don't need any more.
Next time you think you're going to buy jeans, just let me know.
Okay. You know what's cute about these jeans? Is that they had like a slit under the butt crack. Like,
you have those.
No, not under the butt crack.
Girl.
Not the butt crack. The butt crease.
The
butt
cheek. Yeah.
Under the cheek. And I thought it was cute. But now I'm like, let me just take a pair of jeans that I like don't love that much and like cut them and see if it looks cute.
Oh my gosh. Don't buy that.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not. I promise. Scout's honor.
And if you do, or go to a thrift store and buy some jeans and try cutting them. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll get off my horse.
Shall we dig in to the question at hand? Yeah. It's a juicy one because to me, anything that relates to family members and family business.
You've got stories to tell. I'm going to have to keep you time checked on this.
Time check. Yeah. Because we got a meeting after this. You know how we do.
Also, it's like people got to listen.
What if they want to listen to us all day and just like keep going? Us be in their ears all afternoon.
I've got we've got lots of podcast episodes they can listen to.
That's true. You can go to the backlog. Not even just for this podcast. If you just go search Adrienne Dorson and you'll find backlogs of previous podcasts, guest podcasts that I've done. I used to have a daily podcast. Like you could just listen so many episodes.
Selfishly, I suggest you listen to Dear Work Wives.
Yeah, that one too. Especially if you love this vibe. Mm-hmm. All right, ready for the question?
Yeah.
What guidance would you offer for effectively implementing necessary organizational change when your partners, including a family member, may be resistant or hesitant to adopt new approaches?
Okay. So obviously,
deep exhale.
So you have experience from, which I'll let you get into, like with this exact question. But I also feel like
I forgot that I did. I was like, I do.
Your whole ex-husband.
I know. But I forgot.
Yeah. We have worked with clients who are like mother-daughter, husband-wife, best friends who are co-owners of a business.
Or even just like someone who's been there for 30 years.
Well, I was just gonna say, and then we even like our own situation where it's like, yeah, I'm not a financial partner in the business, but we've worked together for 10 years and we have a tiny team. And so we have to navigate this kind of thing all the time. So I love this question because it happens all the time and it happens in so many different structures of partnership, you know?
Yeah. So I think the number one thing to do first is to think about what you really want or what you think is best for the business, right? Like if you are a partner in this organization and you need to have a vision for the future, right? Because everything is a sales pitch. Like everything you do is a sales pitch, not to clients necessarily, but you got to be pitching your other partners. You're eventually going to be having to pitch team members on why this bigger vision or whatever the organizational change is going to be like, you got to think of it. Well, first you got to set the vision. This is where I really think we need to go. And then you have to figure out the sales pitch of like, how is this beneficial to them? Like, how am I making it clear that this is also not just a benefit to me, but a benefit to them, right? Same thing when you're setting goals for yourself or for your business and you're like, we want to achieve, 3 million in revenue next year. Like, your team member does not necessarily care about that, right? So even though that might be an important goal for you to set for the business, you then have to think about it from the lens and the context of the people that are going to be helping you execute and get to this goal or this vision point, right? And it's like, okay, well, if the 3 million, if they don't really care about that, what do they care about? And how do I communicate this to them in a way that they will understand that this is going to be beneficial for them too, to move this thing forward? So I think that's first, is really making sure you're rooted in your vision and your goals for the new direction. Like, where are we going? Why is the organizational change necessary in order to actually get there? And I think most people don't do that part well. And so then it's really hard to sell it to everybody else. And they also don't think of it as selling it to everybody else. They think of it maybe as a little bit more a dictatorship, or we're doing this because I said so. Or we're just laying it out for everybody. This is what we're doing. And it falls flat because there's not really any energy or heart behind, here's why we're doing this. And here's why it's beneficial for you in your role. And here's how that's going to impact you specifically. And here's how that won't impact you, right? Also helping them, because change is hard. And so we have to understand how to do that kind of incrementally for people, so that it's not this big overwhelming thing that they're like, oh my gosh, there's no way we're going to be able to do all of that. So I think that's the first piece of it. For me, I was talking to our clients about this last week, this idea that I had about pushback versus pullback, right? And we talk a lot about pushback, when pushback is what you're talking about here in this question, is people that are resistant or hesitant to adopt new things or new ideas or new approaches. You're experiencing a lot of pushback, but sometimes you're experiencing pushback because you've already pulled back, right? And that usually happens because you didn't take the time to maybe think about that big vision, or why do we need to make this organizational change, right? Or maybe you even had a big vision and then you shrunk it and you pulled back on it because you were I already know that they're going to push back on me. So I'm just going to pull back. Even when I share the idea, you're not sharing it with the excitement, with the energy that you need. And that's where it's starting maybe with internal pullback, and internal pullback creates pushback, right? If you're already I don't know, what's the word? Suffocating it down, pushing it down a little bit, then they're going to feel that. And they're just going to go, yeah, we shouldn't do that because of XYZ, or, oh, let's just keep things the way they are, because that's easier and quote unquote safer for everybody, because our brains don't like to make changes. And so you have to be so lit up about this thing and really understand where you're going and why it's beneficial for them. Otherwise, you're going to pull back first, which is then going to create the pushback, So I think those are, for me, some first things to think about. Emily, do you have anything else? Whether it's because you've witnessed me in this dynamic, you've witnessed a lot of clients in this dynamic, but you've maybe even been in this dynamic yourself of feeling resistance to a change, or vice versa, when people push back on you when there's a change, because you've been in both types of
both sides.
roles.
Yeah, I will say that I feel examined this from all angles, being experiencing it, coaching people through it on both sides of their equation as well. I think the number one, this is obvious, I don't know, this feels like a bigger answer than I'm oversimplifying it. But if you are someone in any sort of partnership relationship and you are surrounded by people who make you feel like you need to dull down everything you're doing because it's scary to them, then you are surrounded by the wrong people.
Yes.
And I can say that confidently as someone who had to learn to be the right person for Adrienne. And not to say that I had to change everything about myself. Adrienne also had to learn how to deliver ideas to me, how to listen to concerns or questions without being defensive that I'm saying no. I'm just saying like, oh, but how? But like, okay, great, how? Mm-hmm. And not taking that as like, oh, how are you going to do that? And we're just like, oh, actually, how are we going to do this? Like, let's do it. You know,
let's map the plan.
Let's go. You know, but if you are constantly in situations, relationships, partnerships, work dynamics like ours, where you feel like I just can't like be my they're just going to make it so hard for me. They're going to like, this is like, they're going to hate this, or I can't do what I want to do. So let me find like the suitable version for that. Then you need to find
when you're doing the pullback, right? So then they're like, let me create the smaller version of this so that it's more palatable for these people.
And then you're already like, you're already like, I don't even like this idea, but you present it. And I'm like, I can tell you don't like this idea. So no, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Why are you're not fired up about it? Why am I going to be fired up about it? It's more work for me. And truthfully, a lot of the times it's like, sometimes people drop these like great bombs, and it's like, especially on bigger teams where it's like, okay, great, you have an idea. And I think that's where a lot of the like comes from, is like, but now we have to execute that idea. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And it's also hard when you're not even excited about it, or you're, you know, not as excited as I would expect you to be. And so now I'm like, wait, you planted the seed of doubt before we've even started the project.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And that like really ties into the energy of what I'm talking about with the pushback, pullback. I think that you said it much more eloquently too, of like, you know, if you're already dimming yourself, shrinking, even like pulling your energy back because you feel like you're too much for everybody else, or too much for, you know, what they are going to be able to handle, then you're surrounded by the wrong people. You're surrounded by people that are going to constantly put you in that energetic state, right?
Yeah, you're going to stay stuck in that forever.
And it is, and I will say that slowly over time, you will start to turn into that person, because your identity will start to shift, right? Because, you know, we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. Right. And like, I know that sounds, what's the word? What does it sound?
True.
It sounds cliche. But a cliche is a cliche because it's true.
Because it's true.
And it's like, I can immediately tell, because I've had to make really conscious choices. I made a really conscious choice to end my marriage, which wasn't easy at all. And it's not because I hate that person. I don't, right? He's my co-parent, whatever. Like, and this is like personal things that I won't go into further detail on, but I want the best for him, and I want the best for myself. And like energetically, we weren't a match for that. And I've had to remove myself, not just from my marriage, but even from friendships, or from business groups, from mentorships, where I'm like, from group chats.
And then write an article about it.
We'll put the link to that article in there.
Yeah.
In the show notes, because I can't deal with communal misery, right? And like, that is how things spread, is when we're in communal misery and the negativity spawns and you get caught up in it, or you are the joyful one. And then slowly over time, you start to stop spreading your joy and sharing your optimism, because you're like, everyone's going to roll their eyes at me.
Not being received. Yeah.
It's not being received at all. And you're like, I can tell that they don't want this. This isn't what they're looking for. Like, when they share negativity, they're not looking for me to try to lift them out of that. And that's what I was trying to do, because that's my nature, right? Mm-hmm. And that's also what I want other people to do for me. And so I was like, I need to exit certain communities, certain friendships, certain relationships, certain mentorships. Not because these are bad people, but because if I'm the average of these people, this is not the average that I want, right? Like, I have to raise the bar higher for myself if I want, you know, the best of what I feel like I'm capable of. This isn't the room for it. And same thing when I do, you know, build new relationships, or invest in new mentors, or join new business communities or friendship groups, or whatever it is, right? It's like really being very discerning of the energy and the vibes that they're bringing. And like, are they bringing me up? Are they keeping me where I'm at? Are they bringing me down? Right. And I think that's a really important discernment. And I'm not saying that this is easy, because some of, like, especially if you're dealing with family members and you're having to communicate with them, like, these are really challenging moments in your career of like, how do I be the energy that I am? And I actually know the person who asked this question, and they're a very high vibe person. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I know who you are when you're at your best. And I can only imagine who you are when you're at your workplace with this type of energy. And I wonder, like, is your spark being dulled in that environment? Right?
Yeah.
Because if you know what you're capable of and what your big vision is for what you're trying to accomplish, but you continue to like let it be dulled, then it's going to continue to be very challenging. And over time, your whole identity can shift based on, again, the average of the 5 people that you're spending the most time with, which is typically a lot of people at work, whoever you're with at, your partnerships or at home, a mentor potentially who is pouring into you every week or every day. Is like, I want to be surrounded by possibility, not people who are going, oh, that sounds like really hard. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it.
We can do hard things. Yeah, I think this is such an important conversation for people to have, because I'm not saying like throw everyone in the trash, No. Because take Adrienne and I, for example. Like, Adrienne is in our dynamic. She is the like, weave in and out of being like a little bit more on the woo side, a little bit more like the universe is my sugar daddy.
Is conspiring in my favor.
Right.
Yeah.
And you kind of sprinkle that energy on me. And I am someone who struggles with anxiety and depression. And so I tend to be more of an Eeyore type of personality. That doesn't mean that but Adrienne and I have found a way where like she brings me up. I'm not saying I bring her down, but it's more like I can still be myself in that dynamic. I'm like the Eeyore and she's like the piglet, where it's like, I can still be myself in that dynamic, and she can understand the moment of like, okay, like, let me just humor this little misery moment for a bit. But then I know how to show up for Adrienne. It's like, I'm not bringing my Eeyore energy to like what excites her. And she constantly reminds me in our friendship and at work that like my first thought, even if it's the Eeyore thought, is not like, True. It's not the thought I want to put out into the world. It's not the thought I want to carry. So then, even though I might have the moment, and sometimes I struggle more with them than others, that's the nature of anxiety, I always get to the second thought of like, okay, but anything is possible. Like, this is going to all work out,
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying like, if you have someone in a partnership where you're like, okay, well, they have like, for whatever reason, like this is their personality type. I'm not saying you're like, okay, well, that's it, cut them out of your life. I'm just saying that you need to be able to communicate to find the dynamic of like, how can we find synergy in like who you are and who I am? And are we able to work together and like live life parallel and still be true to ourselves? Or are you really going to be someone who's going to like drag me into a place I don't want to be, and there has to be room for both of you to exist.
Yeah. And I think that is like a good transition to like the next part of this is like, okay, let's assume you've done your homework. You've thought about, this is the vision. This is where we're going. It's this big, exciting, compelling vision. This is the reason we have to create these organizational changes. And you've done your due diligence to figure out what are the benefits to the individual contributors and how I'm going to position that to share with them. There's also this moment where you need to communicate with your partners about this first. And maybe there's even them doing that exercise at the same time in their own way of like, okay, we've experienced some resistance, even among our partnership with the team of implementing new changes. Like, why don't we each spend some time thinking about the business and our bigger vision for the business as partners, like individually, let's do that for ourselves. And then let's come together as partners and share to see where those visions align and where maybe we're misaligned and we need to come to some sort of resolution for the team and for the company, right? If there is pushback even on those types of things, I think it's important to be really direct. Like, that this is the type of thing that is going to hold the business back. And if we don't want the same things, then we have to figure out a new way of structure or being that allows the business to actually move forward. Because if we just are in constant opposition in leadership, then there's no way that the team is actually going to propel forward, right? Like they can't actually propel and push us forward. We have to be energetically pulling them as a leadership unit, and I think it's challenging when you have multiple leaders for sure, but it's important that you have that conversation first with them of like, hey, this is what's on my mind. And I think being really direct and transparent, but still kind, and coming with like the best interests of the business and the vision. This is not a personal attack. This is where I see us going. But we can't get there if we as leadership don't agree or can't come to a resolution to help the team meet us there, right?
Yeah. I'll also say the best partnerships that we worked with over the years in this dynamic is it's very clear who owns what pieces. And like, this is mine, this is yours. You have full autonomy here, I have full autonomy there. And they have like an immense amount of trust between each other that they are going to, both respect each other, and that they're on the same page. So they're constantly in communication around like, this is the big vision, this is the goal, this is the actions we're taking to bring it to life. I also think this is when it's like, you might not want to have a 50-50 partnership. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you might need to have like a designated, at the end decision. Of the day, like this is the person who gets to make the call. If we truly cannot agree, then it's ultimately this person's decision. And this person has a higher stake, so they also carry more of the risk.
Yeah, I usually recommend when you're in a partnership at least 49-51 with someone having decision-making authority, so that you're not constantly being stalemated, because that doesn't serve anybody, right? Like at some point, even if it's not your preference, we have to move something forward. And so it's actually better for someone to be a decision maker. I've also even been asked to be on boards to be a decision maker for a company who has 50-50 partnerships, or even 25, like sometimes they have 4 founders.
Yeah.
And they have 25% stake. And so they need a tiebreaker. And so I've been asked to be a tiebreaker. It's a paid role as a board member, right? To come in and be a tiebreaker. But that is something structurally you can implement, so that you have people who are looking out for your best interest, who are helping you move things forward in a pragmatic, but also structurally sound, systematic way. Like from a strategic standpoint, not just I like you better. No, it's like I've looked at all of the data. I'm understanding where each of you are coming from, and this is what is the best decision. And that's going to be the tiebreaker move, right? And so if you're locked into something 50-50, or where you don't have decision-making authority, because at the end of the day, if you do have decision-making authority in this partnership and you've tried all the other things and people are still not moving forward, guess what?
It's your choice.
You get to move it forward. You get to go ahead and bring the high vibes and energetically move this thing forward. And I've also worked with companies that have done that, and they wait way too long to do that because they think everybody needs to be happy, including the partners. And guess what? They don't. Right? If you are the majority shareholder, make decisions, move it forward. That's what's in the best interest of the company. Not keeping everybody happy all the time. You're not going to, right? Yeah. And so sometimes you're just afraid to do it. You don't want to be seen as mean. You don't want to be seen as a dictator. But sometimes you have to, for the best interest of the vision and the company and everybody on the team. So don't be afraid to do that if you actually are a majority shareholder inside the company. And also don't be afraid to like, hey, if we're not going to move this forward and we're, all equal shareholders, then we need to bring in someone else to help us with these tiebreakers, because we can't just be stalemate forever. That's a recipe straight to the bottom.
Yeah. And for people who like, this is family, like get a mediator or a counselor or like an unbiased professional to help you, because family is family, as our girl Casey Musgrave says.
Yeah.
It's messy. And be mindful.
It's like a lot of times people don't make decisions because family is on the team, not even in a shareholder position, but sometimes just on the team. And they don't want to ruffle the feathers or upset granny or upset my, sister-in-law who has this,
or my niece. Yeah.
You have to get over that real quick if you actually care about the business, and that this is even like, because some people, but it's our family. Yeah, but do you want it to be a legacy business? Do you want it to still be in business? Because someone has to, make those tough decisions and move things forward. And if they're not doing things that are in the best interest of the organization, that's on them, not on you.
Yeah.
So that's part of being a business owner, is sometimes doing the hard thing. And this might be one of those situations. And I've had to do it. I've had to let go of family members. I've had to advise clients to do tough things with family members or with resistant team members who had been there as long as, family members. And it's not easy. But once they did it, they were like, oh my God, that was the best thing we ever did, because this was never going to change.
For both the business and the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's all we got.
All right.
There's a lot, but
thanks for listening, everyone.
All right.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah. Saucy.podcast.com if you want to submit something for yourself. And share this episode. The more people that hear it, the better it is for the algorithm. We really appreciate it. Reviews are also always appreciated, but only if you want to give us 5 stars. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.